Covert narcissism screws with your mind. I stood in my own home and realized how frozen I was. I couldn't make simple decisions like what to fix for dinner, what to watch on TV, when to sit down and read my book in the evening. Covert narcissism steals your ability to be spontaneous. Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. I'm going to give you some examples of this in this episode today. So my boys, when they would get home from school, we'd be happily playing in the living room. You know, we're throwing footballs around, playing disc golf. Yes, in the home. Okay, I'm guilty of this. Running with the dogs, active, happy play. Sometimes in the backyard, sometimes in the home. The garage door would open and playtime was over. There was an instant lump in my throat, instant lump in my stomach. The boys would run off upstairs and busy themselves with their homework, and I would busy myself. I'd clean the kitchen or vacuum the living room, anything to keep me occupied and safely distanced. Now he comes in the home. I stop what I'm doing and I greet him, but my whole system is on edge. I'm wondering and searching for any signs of what kind of mood is he in. Today, is he Dr. Jekyll or is he Mr. Hyde? He says, "Hey, how are you doing? How's your day been?" Well, this seems innocent enough. It seems caring and genuine, but I know from past interactions that any conversation is dangerous territory. So my mind plays through all the different options here. I could say, "It's been a good day. I got to have lunch with my good friend. We had a really good time. We went for a walk. It's such a beautiful day. We ended up making sandwiches and eating outside." What would his response be? "You've never asked me to go for a picnic." Danger, danger. All the alarm bells inside me go off at that option. Well, I could say, "It's been a rough day. Work was frustrating. I have so much to get done and I'm really feeling overwhelmed." How would he respond? "I sure wish I could get on your to-do list. When do I get any of that time with you?" So now I'm overwhelmed with exasperation. I could say, "I'm not feeling too great today. You know, my stomach is really upset. I think I might be getting sick. I'm going to go to bed soon and hopefully I can shake this off." His response? With no acknowledgement of the words I've said, he says, "I've got such a headache. Will you sit here and rub my shoulders and head for a bit? I really could use that." So I speak up. "I just said that I think I'm getting a little sick and I need to go to bed." And he responds, "I just asked for a little favor. If you don't want to, you could just say that. I guess it's okay. It was a simple request." And now I feel bad. "No, come here. I will sit and rub your shoulders." Well, now realize that all of these scenarios have just played through my mind in the time that he asked, "Hey, how's your day been?" And I haven't said a word yet. This all flashes through your mind in this tiny moment. And it's just a simple question. How was your day? So I ended up answering, "It's been a good day." And that's it. That's all the conversation we get because conversation with a covert narcissist is not safe. So he continues, "Let's go out to dinner. Where do you want to go?" Well, the mind takes off yet again. If I say, "Well, let's go to," and I name any restaurant, the responses I get, "Oh, I hate that place. They're too slow." So I name a different restaurant. "Well, their prices are too high." So I name a different one. "Well, why would you want to go there? Their food is awful." On and on this goes, with him getting more frustrated and more frustrating. If I say, "I don't care where we go, you pick," the answer I get back, "I've been busy all day at work while you get to stay home. I ask you to make one simple decision and you can't even do that." And the danger bells go off inside you. If we finally settle in on a restaurant, there are so many traps. He doesn't like the table because it wobbles and makes a big fuss until we move. He fusses out of proportion at the waiter because the waiter forgot to bring straws, rather than just asking for straws. Here we sit with no distractions, so conversation is tense and nerve-wracking. We're all walking on eggshells around him. He gripes at the boys for anything and everything they do. Chew with your mouth closed. Sit still. Quit talking so much. Join the conversation. Talk more. They can't do anything right. So, again, all of these scenarios have just played through my mind with his one simple question of, hey, do you want to go out to eat tonight? So I say, let's just eat at home. Well, he huffs, we always just eat at home. You are so boring. You really used to enjoy life. He has no idea how true that statement is. So we eat at home. Again, in front of the TV. Watching MASH for the 1,000th time. My boys and I can quote nearly every episode. It was our escape during mealtime. Now the evening continues. After dinner, he sits in the living room watching TV, and the boys are sitting at the table playing a board game. But the movie he chooses is inappropriate for our kids. Our 2 young boys are there. They're playing this board game. They're not watching, but they're around. Well, here goes my mind again. How do I handle this one? Do I speak up? If I speak up, what do I say? If I sit and start quietly chatting with the kids, maybe to keep them distracted and engaged with their game so they really aren't paying attention, he turns the TV up, dominating the house entirely now, making it clear that he doesn't like that we're talking. So if I say, hey, that really isn't appropriate for our kids, would you be willing to watch it upstairs? He would respond, well, this is my house. They can go upstairs if they don't want to watch it. So I try to find a different approach. Hey, would you be willing to watch that later? I really don't want the boys to hear that. Well, he huffs, he aggressively grabs the remote, turns it off, not saying a word, and marches upstairs. And now I know that I will pay a price for this later. If he doesn't grab the remote and march off upstairs, he snaps instead and says, you don't like anything that I picked. I picked this for us. I'm sorry that I can't do anything right. Well, now I feel bad. And I start reassuring him. I do like the things you picked. I'm sorry that I'm being sensitive to you. You watch the movie. Here, I'll watch it with you, even though I really don't want to. In fact, I'll go, hey, you want some popcorn? And I'll fix some popcorn. And now I've joined him. All of these scenarios play through my mind before I do anything. I already know that all of them are potential danger. How do I know this? Because this sort of thing has happened over and over and over for years. So I don't say anything at all. In silence, I just hurry the kids through their game as quietly as I can, and I send them off upstairs. So now as the evening continues, I need to go to the restroom. Well, I can't even do that. If I go to the one downstairs, he'll complain, well, you sure spent a long time in there, and make some snide remark about it. Or he'll complain that I stunk it up even when I didn't, or he'll make some smart aleck comment about it. If I go upstairs, he'll ask where I'm going. Well, I'm going to the bathroom. Well, why don't you just use the one down here? And the whole scenario starts. Why would you go all the way upstairs? Don't you want to be around me? Am I just that horrible of a person? Well, now victim mode goes in. And now I'm defending myself and reassuring him. If I say, I'm just going upstairs for a while, then he'll say, well, why don't you just stay here and watch the movie with me? We never do anything together. You don't ever want to do anything with me. Even though he spends no time taking any interest in my wants and desires. So I don't go to the bathroom. I can wait. I'll just sit here just to avoid these interactions. Geez, in my own home, I can't even decide when and how to go to the restroom. Well, now it's getting late and I want to go to bed. Well, how do I manage this? I tell him, hey, I'm tired and I'm going to bed. Good night. He quickly shuts the movie off, jumps up and moves upstairs to watch the movie in bed. Well, he knows I can't sleep to the TV. I hate even having a TV in the bedroom, so now I have to ask him to turn it off, which gets even more reactions. He wants to leave it on to fall asleep to, so he says, well, I'll just set a timer for 10 minutes. Well, now I lay there awake for 10 minutes. He's asleep in 1 minute. But if I turn it off, he wakes up. So I wait. So to avoid this, I choose to fall asleep on the couch. Well, he comes over, snuggles up against me to watch his movie. Well, now I can't sleep anymore. He falls asleep. So now here I am laying on the couch, wide awake, watching his movie while he sleeps on the couch. I go upstairs to enjoy some quiet time and read for a bit. The TV downstairs is so loud this action movie full of loud and startling noises that it's hard to relax to. So here I am again, my mind in overdrive. I can ask him to turn it down. He will ignore me and not answer, doing nothing. I've been through that scenario many, many times. So then I say, well, did you hear me? Should I ask again? So I ask again, which gets a sharp reply. I heard you the first time, even though he didn't do anything. Or he might pick up the remote and turn it down one single click. Well, that helped a lot, leaving me wondering if I should ask again. So instead, I close the bedroom door. Well, then he's going to take offense at that. Are you closing me out? Am I that bad of a person? And I respond, well, the TV was too loud and I want to read, so I closed the door. And the response I get, you could have just asked. This is maddening. When you wonder why you cannot make a single decision in your own home, this is why. You have circled and circled around. You do it one way, it doesn't work. You do it a different way, it doesn't work. You do it this way, and you go around and around and around. By the end of the evening, your brain is exhausted. I could barely hold a thought anymore. Well, then you sleep in complete mental and emotional exhaustion. Waking up only to start this whole process all over again. I remember laying totally still in the bed until he left for work, just afraid to move because then he would know I was awake and we would start these circular conversations all over again. And when he would leave for work, I would breathe that sigh of relief. Maybe now, for a few hours at least, I don't have to overthink everything. Now, none of this begins to even touch how the weekends go. Or heaven forbid, vacations. I couldn't go to the bathroom without overthinking and overanalyzing. I couldn't dry my hands. Using a paper towel was a waste. Using a dish towel gets it dirty. Using your shirt doesn't keep your hands clean. When I can't even decide how to dry my own hands, this is a problem. I couldn't pick which shirt I lounged around the house in. Isn't that shirt too hot? I don't know how you could possibly be cold, even though he knows I get cold easily. This is nothing new. Or don't you think that shirt's a little tight on you? You think you're hot stuff, don't you? The shirt's comfortable. I just like it. Or that shirt is so ugly, I can't believe you wear it, even though I've worn it for years and he's never said anything about it before. Or maybe even, why don't you ever dress up for me? You don't think I'm very cute, do you? And the victim mode starts. The belittling comments, controlling comments, self-focused comments, victim comments are never ending. When I say that your mind is in overdrive, you cannot possibly understand this unless you have lived it. And if you have lived it, you know exactly what I mean. When I am frozen in my own home and cannot figure out how to ask him to turn the TV down, this is a problem. I was at my friend's house one time, and her and I were chatting. Her husband was watching TV in the other room. And I heard her ask her husband, hey, will you turn that down so we can chat? And I instantly felt myself tense up. He genuinely responded, oh yeah, no problem. In fact, I'll just watch it in the other room so you two can visit. And he happily trotted off. My mind was freaking out. Oh no, is she going to pay a price for that? I was worried for her. And I'm watching her for any sign of being upset. She wasn't upset. She wasn't agitated, nervous, reactive, panicked, none of it. She just continued on in normal conversation with me like this was no big deal. I'm barely hearing her words. I can hear my heart beating in my ears. My eyes feel like they're bulging out of my head. I feel like I'm watching a TV show going, wait, what's about to happen here? I'm waiting for the suspenseful music. I'm watching, waiting for her world to explode. My friend asked me, hey, are you okay? And so I respond, you didn't have to ask him to turn the TV down. It would have been okay. I don't want you to pay a price for that later. Her simple words were shocking to me. What do you mean, pay a price? Wait, she doesn't pay a price for things? She had no idea what I was talking about? I couldn't even comprehend this. I knew in that moment that my perspective of reality had been royally screwed up. I knew that this was not normal. This was not okay, and things needed to change. I tried to explain to my friend what it meant to pay a price. Her words to me were loud and clear. She said, "Hey, Renee, that's not normal." Thus began the process of unfolding what was normal and healthy and what was not. I sure had a lot to learn. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism podcast. If you are struggling with covert narcissism in your life, I help people to heal from covert narcissistic abuse. If you are struggling with the isolation, the self-doubt, and the obsessive thinking, then this is the program for you. I offer both group and individual options. This is live, personalized coaching that is specific to covert narcissism. Reach out to me anytime. You can find me at my website, covertnarcissism.com. I'm not a therapist and you are not a victim. I am a coach and you are a survivor. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson and the Covert Narcissism podcast is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes and not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. It does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and information provided.